Hi everyone, it's Cindy. Welcome back to Studioloo. I'm here today with Dephemberember, day number 17. And where's my pencil? There it is. And the prompts are rust and bookmark. And the animal or insect in this case today is the moth. So if you're unfamiliar still with Dephemberember, you can look down below in the description box and you can see more information about it. So I'm going to start today. I want to use just some inexpensive watercolor paper for what I want to do with this prompt. So we're making a bookmark. So I'm going to fold this piece of watercolor paper just in half. And this is A5 paper, 180 GSM. Okay. So for my moth, what I plan to use is something out of this. This is a vintage, real deal entomology book that belonged to an entomologist. I got it from like my recycling center, and I've used a lot already out of it. But somebody was studying very hard using this book, and it's got some really delightful images, most of which are like the half side of the body. So that being said, let's kind of get started on the rust aspect of this. So now, to scare you, does everyone have their tetanus shots before we get into this? So this is rust water. Why do I have this big jar of rust water? Well, because I use it when I am doing botanical printing and other textile kinds of techniques. So that's why I have it in my studio, although you could use it for a lot of things. So I'm just going to kind of give it a swirl here just to get some of the rusty goodness off the sides. And I'm going to get a couple pieces of scrap paper just to lie down here. And the concept I think I want to try using today is using the rust water basically like an ink. There's so many things I could do today with rust. I was like trying to think of something a little different, maybe a little simple too. So rust water. I was thinking of painting it on. Let me see how that will go. Look at that. Let's get some green on it from something else. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually just going to dip it right in the rust water and kind of swirl the water around a bit using this paper. And then I'm going to flip my paper. I don't know if you can see. Just, I guess, here you go. Hopefully you can see that I have thrown this into the rusty water now. And what we're doing is we're picking up this rusty oxide type stuff. Now I will close this up so that we don't spill it and have a tragedy on our hands here. Okay, just get this out of the way. So then I think what I want to do next is just give this a dry and see what in fact I am left with. So I'm also going to put just a little coffee, just because it will help to deepen things, the tannin in the coffee, and it will move these bits and bobs around. So I'm going to dry this with my heat gun. That's all I'm going to do. And then I will come back to you once it is dry. Okay, so I just wanted to come back even though this isn't fully dry so that you can watch what I do for a moment. So as you can see, the rust here is like little bits of particulate, okay? So the thing about this particulate though is that it's not like a hard particle that will fall off. It's kind of mushy. So I'm just going to mush it down with my finger. I actually did that already right here and you can see that. You can also see some darkening. That's from the tannin in the coffee, that almost gray-black color. So let's continue. Okay, so now let's just give this a flip over and dry the other side, because this will give us a nice backing as well. Okay, so my plans now are to just take this, and I love the front of it. It's amazing. I'm going to continue drying it. Then I'm going to give it a nice hard fold here. And then I'll take it to my sewing machine, and I'm just going to stitch around the edge to give it a final bookmark shape. I'll be right back. Okay, so I have stitched all around this, and it's got this beautiful rusty feel to it. So I'm quite happy about that. Okay. So now things are going to get a little bit more interesting. We'll see how this works. I need like half of a moth that will allow me to have still some space left that's about equal to the size of the moth. I think these two will work. I need a moth that's not going to be too wide. So I will grab those two. Then I need another one. I want 3 in total, I think. How wide are you? Yeah, that one should work. Yeah. Okay, let's take this one too. Okay, so now I just need to glue these down on something substantial. I've got some this black scrap hanging about I'm going to use. Just kind of cut roughly around them. Now I'm going to fussy cut around here. Okay, and then the next two, we'll fussy cut around them too. All right, now we're going to get a little scarier. So what I want to do, I have this piece of, this is actually a tin from something, a coffee tin. So I guess I could talk a little bit about how to make rust water. So you just basically are going to take some metal bits, you know, whatever will rust. And then you're going to add like vinegar. You can use salt if you want to, but vinegar and water and thyme. Just let it sit. So I'm just rubbing this to get off some of the excess rust, because see, there's quite a lot here. Now what I'm going to try to do, and I warn you to be careful here. I'm okay with this. I've done this kind of thing before. You might want to try wearing gloves to do this, but like, I'm not going to. You've been warned. I'm not going to cut myself though. I'm a little bit used to doing this kind of thing. So just remember, the jagged edges are very sharp. And in addition, if you're going to work with any kind of rusty metal, make sure that you have your tetanus shot. I'm not even joking, because, and it's up to date. You've had teeters, you've made sure, because you don't want to get, you know, lockjaw or anything fun like that. And I am fully up to date. A couple reasons. One, because I've had a baby recently, and that's something that doctors like to make sure of. And also I work with a drum carder, so sharp metal is a little bit of a part of my life, right? So I'm very careful. Okay, so what I want here is a rusty wing, but I want it with the side that has this like old, you know, tin can on it maybe. So for at least for this one, and then I want to attach them together with this here like this, and that like that. Yeah. So then I'm just going to kind of clean it up a little, like trimming it up here, to make it a little smaller. Okay. Yep, so that's kind of what I'm going for. Alright, so that one I wanted the tin can. I think the next one I'm going to just use this back side. And actually, should I use the back side for all of them? Let me see if I care about that tin can shape. Well, I kind of like the rusty side better. Maybe I'll make this one the middle one and we will use the tin can. This, yeah, it's this way. So on this side it would be like this, right? Okay. So it would be kind of like that. Okay. Okay, so let's do this. Next one, I want to see this side, so it'll be like that. So I want to see that. So let's bring this over here. And I just cut straight. I don't try to do like a bunch of shaping when there's jagged metal. See, like you can literally just cut away. Don't worry about the waste. It's a lot safer to do that than to worry about like what you're wasting. This is just a tin can. It's not a big deal. What would be easier would be a soda can. This coffee tin is a little thicker. It's the thickness of like a Christmas tin. Okay, that's what we want. And I just need to trim up here. Okay, one to go. Can I fit this wing on here? Let me see. Not quite. What about on here? No. Alright, so we will do one more wing here. You can also use like tin snips to do this. You don't have to use scissors. Okay. That one lost a bit of shape. Hold on. Actually, I think I did that one backwards. Oh goodness, I think I did it the wrong way. Okay, you know what? Give me a moment. I'm just going to go ahead and do this one on my own. And I'll do it exactly the same way, and I'll come back with this cleaned up and just the wings. Okay, so I have all three of the wings cut out, and I think mostly shaped. I'm just going to do a little more shaping on this one to just cut out a little more right here. And I've cleaned up, I think, all of the little shards of cut bits. There we go. Yeah, that's a little better. Okay. So now what I want to do is take these pieces here and I want to glue them down onto something a little sturdier. So I will do that. I'm just going to keep a baby wipe on hand in case I need to wipe rusty bits away. Okay. So move this out of the way. Just glue these down. I'm going to probably fussy cut them out now, just maybe with a little bit of a black border to see how the contrast will look with a little bit of a border. Get rid of this page. So let's give a try and see how a border will look with maybe a bit of inking as well, to just get rid of the kind of white space. But we'll see how it looks first, because sometimes white can add a nice bit of like brightness. We'll see. And this is such a nice diagram type image that the white might actually serve a purpose here. So this one goes here. Now do we want that black? I almost wonder, how would it look if we backed this in black as well? We attached it on here too. Let's try that. I think that actually will be quite nice. Also, it will give me an opportunity to give like a safety edge to the edge of the rusty metal. Oh, and one other thing I changed my decision on. I've decided to go with just the rusty side of the metal. I decided against using the printed side of the tin. I don't know why. I feel like it's just nicer. I'm gonna get this extra glue out of here. I'm gonna let that dry a bit. Okay. So now let's just glue these on here too. One there. I'll just give them a little press for a moment. So I'm just going to allow this fabric tack to dry a bit. I'm actually going to pull this one up. I just think it has too much glue. I'm going to try this again with just a normal amount of glue, not a Cindy amount of glue. There we go, just a little more. Put that one down here. That's better. Now it's not squishing out the sides. Okay, so what I will do now is I'm just going to let this dry just a little bit, and then I'm going to cut all these out in the same way I did this, including the wings with a bit of black border. Okay, so now I've got all of these cut out and I've laid them all down together. So really now I just need to attach them together. So the first thing that I want to do is just add a little bit of glue on the body of the moth. And then the back, actually I'll just glue everything. You know what, I'm going to glue everything down at the same time. One moth at a time. It'll just be easier that way, I think. Okay, so first we take the wing and we are going to line it up kind of here. So put it down first. that's an appropriate position. We're going to get a bit of extra glue probably squishing out here because I have used a bit of glue, but that's okay. Right, so I'm just going to give it a little press. What I'm going to do, I think after I get these glued, I'm just going to put a heavy book on top of them so that it can just sit flat for a little bit, so that all the glue can adhere down. That thin metal can get pressed nice and flat. I might even put it in my book press actually, because that'll be a nice way to flatten it right out. But for now, I will go ahead and lay these down, and you can see how they will look. Okay, two. Okay, I think those are all positioned about how I want them to be. And so yeah, now I'm just going to press this and let it dry for a little bit, and then I will come back with the next step. Okay, so this has now dried and has been pressed. So now I just want to do a little bit of decorating. So I've got this little scrap here of old book spine. And I think I want to add a few little bits to just make this look a little more interesting. Just in a couple of different places, maybe one here. Maybe one over here. Okay. Oops. And then I also have this, oopsies, this top of like an old book spine that I may use as well. Just slide those back down here. The other one go right there. There we go. This here, maybe up top. Okay, so let's start gluing this down. Okay. This one. It's kind of like a bit of a mini rustic collage. Just to add some interest. Then up top, I'm going to need my art glitter glue again because this is a fabric. This bottle, again, I need to fill it. I'm so bad at this. I always forget to fill my glue bottles until it's desperation. There we go. Okay. So now what I want to do, I think what we typically associate with rust, which is like, not actually rust, really is like patina, right? That you typically see with a copper or blue. And I feel like what I would like to do with these, because they are, you know, moths and they're kind of interesting. And I'm thinking about like moths and their luminescence and they're you know, interesting, is I want to add a little bit of a couple of mediums. Let me see if this one will take, and it will. So I'm just going to kind of flick some of this This is Sizzix Luster Wax in the color Lilac Rainbow. So it gives this kind of purpley effect here. Then I want to add a little bit of gilding wax, which is also a Sizzix product. This is also Luster Wax in gold. So I'll add just a little bit. This, and we'll add some on the body of this one maybe. Okay. I don't want to go too thick because I don't want to lose all those black colors. And I'll maybe just use the rest up just kind of on the edges. Just using up the last of this little bit of luster wax that I've pulled out here. You can never have enough gold and sparkly. Okay. Okay, so we've got the luster wax all down. Now I also just wanted to go over this with a bit of Uncharted Mariner. That was that sort of patina concept I was talking about. I don't want to go too heavy. Let me see, how do I feel about that? A little more there. It's so hard to stop with this stuff. It's just so lovely. Okay, and then I think I will just hit it with a little coffee so I can get that nice effect, and that's going to, of course, make this whole thing go really blue. I'm just going to dry this and I'll come right back. All right, so we have completely finished this now, I think. So you'll see that, yes, that blue does kind of take over a little bit, but I feel like in good ways. And you do still see the rust, and you do obviously have the rust here. You still see it on the wings, and you do see like all of this kind of brown throughout. It just kind of makes the whole thing go a little bit more together. It's iridescent, it's got some dimension. It's not sharp. Everything is stuck down well now. So yeah, and then obviously on the back, all I have is the rust there. So I really still see a lot of rust. So that is my project for today. I hope you had fun. I definitely did. This was a fun one to play with the rust water. So I will see you again tomorrow for day number 18. Yes, 18. We are getting quickly through December. So have a great day and bye for now.